I've been waiting for an update to alternate recipes for a while, and though we received some information on recipe changes in yesterday's video, it wasn't quite what I had in mind. But do not worry, as always, we're going to be doing a deep dive on the most recent video and seeing what it's revealed leading up to Satisfactory 1.0, which is now officially, and get hyped, just 1 month away. First of all, for those who didn't see the new teaser for the molecular analysis machine, also known as the MAM on X, well, here it is. We see it at the end of the video as well. Now, it looks pretty clean to me, but we do know that with the reskin, we also have some important changes about how hard drives will work in the game come 1.0, as well as a change to an alternate recipe and a new science to play around with, not to mention a few other snippets that we can take away from the video. So first off, the changes to the hard drives. Now currently we have the option to research hard drives from downed drop pods scattered amongst the world. Researching these in the MAM would return a selection of 3 recipes to choose from, allowing you to unlock one of these for your factory. The system uses a random roll every time you scan the hard drive, meaning you could get the best recipes immediately or spend hours trying to unlock one particular recipe, depending on if fate's on your side. Now, as Snut mentions, this sucks the fun out of hard drive researching for players who are searching for the very best alternate recipes, but also make it a little bit overwhelming for new players who just don't know which recipe is best. And worse still, we can only unlock one hard drive at a time, and 1.0 will address all of these. As such, we will now only be given 2 options to choose from when researching a hard drive. This narrows the initial choice, but you will be able to re-roll these recipes once, giving you 2 totally different options, if they're available to you, that is. Now, this will make it easier for new players, but also help advanced players searching for a specific recipe, as you know the re-rolled recipes won't be any of those that you already have available currently from your selection of hard drives. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that we can now hold on to researched hard drives if we don't want to unlock a recipe straight away in the new hard drives library. Now, this is incredibly useful because we can hold on to hard drives to lock the unlocked recipes, reducing the chances of us getting a bad recipe in the next hard drive. Now, this wasn't doable before because we could only research one hard drive at a time. As such, you'll want to grab hard drives early on to ensure that you unlock the best recipes early. But that's not the only change we've spotted. Looking through the alternate recipe, there's 2 recipes that stand out to me, and that's the copper and iron alloy ingots. Now, the original recipe consumed 50 copper and 25 iron ore per minute for the copper alloy recipe, and that would produce 100 copper ingots, whereas now it requires just half the copper ore. The iron alloy has received even bigger changes. The original recipe consumes 20 iron and copper ore per minute to produce 50 iron ingots. However, we can clearly see that the iron alloy ingots now produce 75 per minute, and doing some basic maths, we can see that the recipe consumes double the amount of iron and half the amount of copper ore to produce those extra ingots. So it's a bit of a trade-off, and personally I think that's a pretty fair trade, and with the increase in lower yielding nodes will probably be a welcome change, allowing us to produce more for less. And if my maths is correct, it means that we'll get slightly more iron ingots from the iron alloy recipe than from the pure iron recipe, though I should stress that you'll still be having to use copper for that slight increase. Although there's nothing to say they won't change the pure recipe alongside these changes. Now, the third point of interest is the new research tier. You may have spotted the classified phenomena, which was brought to my attention by Human Imperfect, a moderator on my channel. As to what this is though, we'll have to wait and see. Perhaps it's to do with Sam or maybe the story. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But that's not all. Looking at the player's inventory, we can also see clearly that the automated miners are now stackable, which is a welcome change given setting up a factory with multiple miners often requires half an inventory full of miners currently. So all in all, this has been a pretty insightful video, and I'm looking forward to what we have coming next, especially given we see that mysterious purple eye for a split second again. Could this be something to do with teleportation, the Mercer spheres, or even something a little more malign, such as the mind-controlling eye of something on this planet? Perhaps as part of the game's story and lore. Speaking of which, if you'd like me to do an updated video on my thoughts as to the story prior to 1.0, then do let me know in the comments below, or check out my older video on that now. Anyway, thanks as always goes to all of our amazing supporters on Patreon, notably our Soloclipse patron Firefless, as well as our Lunas, the Calamity, Ben and Star, and our Blood Moon of the day, which today is Dr. Shotgun. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.